Stories with me, Megan. A Little Time in Yoga Stories is all about learning a new story and doing some yoga poses as we go along. So copy the moves that I do and try to have some fun. Okay, let's start off as we always do by crossing our legs and sitting on our bottoms, bringing our hands to our heart, and after 3 we'll say our yoga hello, namaste. 1, 2, 3, namaste. Fantastic. Now today's story is all about a fox, so let's go into a fox pose. Coming onto our hands and knees, and then we're going to lift up one leg out straight behind us and bend it at the knee to show our beautiful fox tail. Fantastic. Now bringing that leg down, let's try it on the other side. Stretch out your other leg and bend it at the knee to show your fox tail. The fox in our story is called Fiona. Fiona lives. Let's go into a house pose. Come to standing with your feet apart, bringing your hands to your heart and pet them above your head. Well done. Now Fiona lives in a den with her mum, her dad, her grandparents and her brother and sister. Now Fiona is very excited. Can you cheer to the sky with your arms? She is excited because next Sunday Fiona is having some of her friends round for a tea party. She cannot wait. But first she's got to get through this week, counting down the days. She's so excited. So she lays down on her side in bed. Come to lying on your sides. This Sunday evening, she lays down on her side in bed, ready for her week ahead, making sure she gets a good night's sleep. On Monday, Fiona sits up, comes sitting on your bottoms, your legs crossed, and she has a big stretch, stretching your arms up high and out. And then Fiona is ready to start her day. Let's go back into that fox pose. Onto our hands and knees, stretching out one of our legs and bending it at the knee. Now on Mondays, Fiona goes to music group with her granddad. Coming down onto your knees. When she gets there, first she plays the piano. Come to sitting up, and then take one of your legs out to the side so your leg is straight. Lift up your opposite arm and then bend over. Then take this hand over here off your leg. Reach around to your side and play your piano up and down, pitter-pattering your fingers up and down your side. And then bringing that leg back, let's try it on the other side. Taking our other leg out, lifting our opposite arm, bending over and playing that piano. As the first thing that Fiona does at music group this Monday is plays the piano. Next, she plays the triangle. So let's go into a triangle shape. Starting on your hands and knees, and then tuck your toes, and then lift your bottom to the sky. As she plays the triangle, it goes ting, ting, ting. Can you make that sound? Ting, ting, ting. Fantastic. Then coming back down onto your knees. Next, Fiona looks for the drum. Taking out your super spectacles, she looks for the drum. Fiona spots B, the bear cub. Let's go into a bear pose. Come to standing with our legs wide. And then we're going to bend forwards, holding our ankles. And stomp, 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 stomp. Well done, standing yourselves back up. B, the bear cub, is playing the drum. Come to sitting on your bottoms. And bring the bottoms of your feet together so the bottoms are touching. And then pretending to play that drum. Well done. Fiona heads over to B, the bear cub. Let's go back into that fox pose. Coming onto our hands and knees. Stretching out our leg straight and bending our leg. Fiona looks at B and she smiles. Give me a great big smile. And then she snatches the drum away from B. Fiona, dropping your knees, come onto your bottom. And then take your feet together so the bottoms of your feet are touching. Fiona plays the drum herself, smiling away, happy that she's got the drum. But bringing your knees together, give them a hug. He feels sad. That wasn't very kind. Fiona snatched from her. She didn't even ask first. He's feeling sad. That evening, Fiona lays on her side in bed, come to lie on your sides. And before she falls asleep, she happily remembers how much she enjoyed playing with the drum today at music group. Closing your eyes. On Tuesday, Fiona wakes up. She sits up, comes to sitting on your bottoms, your legs crossed, and she has a big stretch. Fantastic. And then she's ready to start her day. Let's go back into that fox pose. Going onto our hands and knees. And lifting up our leg straight behind us and bending it at the knee. Fantastic. And then dropping yourself back onto your knees. Well done. On Tuesdays, Fiona goes to nursery. At nursery, Fiona reads a book. Come onto your bottoms. And take your feet together so the bottoms of your feet are touching. Hold on to your toes and sit yourselves up nice and straight. And then turn the pages in your book as she reads a book. Next, she plays in the water tray. Let's go into a water tray pose. Come to lie on your tummies. Lift up your feet behind you and then take one of your arms, reach it round and hold on to your foot. And then do the same with the other arm and lift up into your water tray pose. Afterwards, she wants to do some painting. Coming to sit up on your knees. She takes a look around, looking for a paintbrush. Taking your super spectacles out. Fiona notices Henry, the hare. Let's go into a hare pose. Staying on your knees with your bottom down. Bring your forehead to the floor and then hook your fingers together behind your back and take your hands up as your hare ears. Fiona notices that Henry the hare is painting. Let's go into a painting pose. Come onto your bottoms, your legs out straight in front of you and lift up your paintbrush as Henry the hare is painting a beautiful picture. Fiona heads over to Henry. Let's go back into that fox pose. Onto our hands and knees. Stretching our leg out straight and bending it at the knee. Fiona looks at Henry and smiles. And then she snatches the paintbrush from him. Back onto your bottoms, your legs out straight in front of you. Fiona takes the paintbrush. Try to lift up your other foot this time. And paints herself a beautiful picture. Smiling away as she paints. Putting your paintbrush down. But Henry, lifting up your knees and giving them a hug. You're sad. Fiona snatched the paintbrush from him. He was having fun. But she didn't even ask first. That night, Fiona lays on her side. And before she goes to sleep, she thinks about that beautiful painting she did earlier. Closing your eyes. On Wednesday, Fiona wakes up. She sits up, come onto your bottoms, your legs crossed, and she has a big stretch. And then she's ready to start her day back into our fox pose. Hands and knees. Leg out and bend at our knee. Fantastic. On Wednesdays, come back onto your knees. Fiona goes to nursery again. She has so much fun there. First, she played with the rag doll. Come to standing with your feet together. And then we're going to let our arms fall forward as we bend forward. Letting our arms fall. Letting our head fall into a rag doll pose. Fantastic. Then slowly roll yourselves back up. Well done. Next, she builds sandcastles in the sandpit, coming onto your bottoms, with your legs bent in front of you and your feet flat on the floor. Take your hands outside of your bottom, and then lift up your hips, and take your head back to look up at the ceiling, showing a sandcastle pose. She builds sandcastles in the sandpit. But next, she wants to play with the dollhouse. Comes sitting on your knees. She takes a look around, take out those super spectacles, looking for where the dollhouse is today. She spots the dollhouse, sitting up on your knees. Take your knees apart. Bring your hands to your heart, take them above your head to a dollhouse pose. Well done. Fiona notices that Serena the squirrel is going to a squirrel pose, bringing our hands down. Staying sitting up on your knees, bring your feet together, this time your legs together, and then take your hands onto the bottom of your back, so your fingers are pointing towards your bottom, and then look up to the sky into a squirrel pose. Serena the squirrel is playing with the doll's house. It looks like she's having fun, but it's Fiona's turn. Fiona, back into that fox pose, onto our hands and knees, lifting up our leg and bending it at the knee. Fiona looks at Serena and smiles. And then she takes the doll's house. Go back into that doll's house pose, sitting up on our knees, taking our knees apart. Bring our hands to our heart and above our head. Fiona starts playing with the doll's house. This is fun. But Serena, onto your bottoms and hug your knees. It's feeling sad. She was having fun with the doll's house. Fiona came over and just took it from her. Sad. At night, as Fiona lays on her side in bed, come to lie on your sides. Before she goes to sleep, she remembers all the fun she had playing with the toys at nursery today. Closing your eyes. On Thursday, Fiona opens her eyes. She sits up, comes to sitting on your bottoms, your legs crossed, and she has a big stretch. And then she's ready to start her day, back into our fox pose. Hands and knees. Taking your leg out straight and bending it at the knee. On Thursdays, Fiona's grandma takes her to the library, comes sitting on your knees. When she gets there, Fiona takes a look at all the books. Give me a wave with one of your hands. Then pop it on your opposite leg and look over your shoulder, looking at the books in this direction. She can't see any there she likes the look of. Come back to the front and then wave at me with your other hand. Pop it up on your opposite leg and look over your other shoulder. She can't see any she likes there either. That's the front. She takes a seat in a chair. Come to standing with your feet together. And then bend your knees as though you're sitting in a chair. She takes out her super spectacles and has a look. All of a sudden she notices Ben, the badger. Let's go into a badger pose. Onto our hands and knees. And then take out one of your legs behind you so it's nice and straight, keeping your toes on the floor. Stretching your leg straight. Fantastic. Bring that foot back and try your badger with the other leg, showing his tail. Fantastic. And the badger is reading a book that looks really exciting. Fiona, back onto your hands and knees. Let's go into that fox pose. Fiona looks at Ben, smiles, and then she snatches away the book. Hang on to your bottoms. Bring your feet together, the bottoms of your feet are touching, and hold your toes. And then Fiona sits there, sitting up, and reads the book to herself. Oh, this does look like a good one. It's got amazing pictures. She loves it. But Ben, bring your knees together and give them a hug. He's feeling sad. He was enjoying looking at that book. Fiona just took it. Didn't even ask. At night, Fiona lays on her side in bed, lying on your side, and before she goes to sleep, She remembers how exciting the pictures were in the book today, how good it was looking at it. Closing your eyes. On Friday, Fiona wakes up. She comes to sitting on her bottom with her legs crossed and has a big stretch. Then Fiona is ready to start her day back into that fox pose. Well done. On Fridays, Fiona goes to football with her dad. When she gets there, coming onto your knees, she tries out some different footballs. Come to standing with your feet together. And then bend one of your knees and lift your foot behind you, trying not to wobble. After 3, let's give this first ball a kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. Fiona doesn't like that one. She tries another one, bending your other leg, holding your foot behind you. 1, 2, 3, kick. She doesn't like that one either. She has to look around, see if she can see a better ball. Take out your super spectacles. All of a sudden, she notices Hilda, the hedgehog. Let's go into a hedgehog pose. Coming onto your knees. And take your forehead down to the floor. And then pop your hands on your back, showing me your spiky fingers spike up to the sky, just like Hilda the hedgehog spikes. Fiona notices that Hilda is playing with a shiny red ball. Let's go into a ball pose now, taking our head back to the floor and tucking our arms in at our sides. This ball looks amazing. The owner wants it. Let's go back into our fox pose. Well done. Fiona heads over to Hilda, smiles, and then snatches the ball, coming onto your knees. And then, giving yourselves a big cheer, Fiona scores loads and loads and loads of goals with the shiny red ball. But while she's scoring them, go onto your bottoms and give your knees a hug. Hilda's sitting there feeling sad. She liked that ball and she was playing with it. And Fiona just snatched it away. At night, as Fiona lies on her side in bed, before she goes to sleep, she remembers all the goals she scored today at football. Closing your eyes. On Saturday, Fiona wakes up. She sits up, comes sitting on your bottom with your legs crossed, and she has a great big stretch. And then Fiona is ready to start her day. Let's go back into our box pose. Well done. Now this is an exciting Saturday. Today, Fiona's mum is helping her decorate and get ready for the tea party tomorrow. First they hang some decorations. Come to standing with your feet together. Take your hands to your heart and take them above your head. And let's lean this way as they hang decorations over here. And back to the centre. Let's lean this way as they hang decorations over here. Well done, and back to the centre. They also set the table. Come sitting on your bottom with your legs out wide. Stretching down to one foot. Setting this side of the table. Coming back up to the centre. And then stretching down to your other foot, setting that side of the table. And sitting back up. And then bending forwards as they sit the centre of the table. Fantastic. And finally they make some cakes and biscuits. Picking up your wooden spoon. And let's get mixing. Well done. Pop that wooden spoon down. Let's pick the other one up. And let's get mixing. Fantastic. Popping that wooden spoon back down. On Saturday afternoon, Fiona notices something strange. Popping your ears from the bottom to the top and back down again. She keeps on hearing the telephone ringing. Her mummy is getting lots of phone calls today. Bring your legs together and then lift up your telephone. Bring that phone down. It rings again. Put the phone down. It rings again. Putting that phone down. It rings again. Keeping on ringing. Keep swapping those feet. But with every phone call, Fiona notices that her mummy is getting more and more worried. Finally, the phone stops ringing. Crossing your legs. Fiona's mummy calls for her. Cup your hands around your mouth. We're going to breathe in through our nose. And as we breathe out, we're going to stretch our arms and shout Fiona. Fiona! How strange. When Fiona's arrives, her mum explains to her, rubbing her jaw. She tells her that all those phone calls were the parents of Fiona's friends. Fiona's friends have been saying they don't want to come to the tea party anymore. Your hands onto your hips. They said that Fiona has been snatching from them, that she has been unkind. Fiona is shocked. Let me see your shocked faces. Well done. What are they talking about? They're talking nonsense. Fiona's mum tells her to have a think. Moving your head. As Fiona thinks, she starts to get a funny feeling in her tummy. First, she remembers all the fun that she's been having this week. But then, it's a pattering over your tummy. She starts to remember seeing her friends having fun as they were playing. Then, it's a funny feeling in her heart, pitter-patter over your chest. She realises they are right. To make herself be happy, to make herself have fun, she has made them sad. She has stopped them having fun. Fiona has been snatching. She's made her friends sad, and now they don't want to come to her tea party anymore. At night she lays on her bed, lying on her side. Fiona feels sad about what she's done. But then, she closes her eyes and she goes to sleep with an idea in her head. On Sunday, Fiona wakes up. She sits up, come onto your bottom with your legs crossed, and she has a big stretch. Then she's ready to start her day. Let's go back into that fox pose, to our hands and knees. Legs out straight. Time to carry out her plan. Fiona gets onto her bicycle. Come to lying on your backs. Lifting up your knees. And then start pedaling your bicycle. Fantastic. Fiona cycles to the houses of all of her friends. And when she gets to each house, she knocks on the door. She apologises. She promises never to snatch again. And then she asks the friends to come to her tea party that afternoon. Stuffing your legs. On Sunday afternoon, she sits. Come back onto your bottoms, your legs crossed. And she waits. Take your arms out wide. And then we're going to tink, tock, tick tock, tick tock, like a clock. All of a sudden, she hears something rubbing your ears from the bottom to the top. And back down again. Fiona can hear the door knocking. Fiona opens the door, comes sitting up on your knees, taking your leg out to the side as nice and straight, then lift up your opposite arm and bend over to open the door. She looks and sees it's all of her friends. Her friends have forgiven her and they've come for the tea party. Bringing that leg back, they step inside, take your other leg out, lift up your opposite arm, and Fiona closes the door behind them. That afternoon they have a wonderful afternoon, coming onto your bottoms, your legs out wide in front of you, playing games and eating lots of cake, bending forward to try some of that cake yourself. That evening, as Fiona lays on her side in bed, she remembers what an amazing afternoon she's had with her friends. And she knows that she will never ever take anything again without asking first. Then she closes her eyes and goes to sleep. And time to roll onto your backs. Lying on your backs, take your legs out straight and your arms by your sides. Well done, Fiona. She learnt about her mistakes and she apologised for them. And she's learnt from those mistakes. Knowing that in the future, if someone has something that she wants, she won't just walk over and snatch it. She'll go over. She'll ask them if she can have a turn. And then she'll make sure she takes turns with her friends. Well done, Fiona. Wiggle your toes. Lift up your knees and give them a hug. Roll onto your side and push yourselves up onto your bottoms. So you're sitting on your bottoms with your legs crossed. Bring your hands to your heart. And after 3 we'll say our yoga goodbye. Namaste. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. This is on Yoga Stories. See you again soon. Bye.